lane here. Everybody's also talking about Link versus Bjergsen. Dexter said he thought that Link can easily handle Bjergsen, at least be able to stay in the lane and stay even.
So that's what handle.
Which is a pretty big feat going against Bjergsen.
Yeah, that's what most mid laners have said. Bjergsen, we usually hear him talking about his mid lane engagements with High in practice and whatnot, and Bjergsen is seen over in the NA that people will go very aggressive at level 2 and to try and ignite you a little more than in Europe. So he's taken a bit of that play under his belt, having the most kills in the league right now. Bjergsen is doing quite well with that mindset. Seeing what we have here as a last ban for Team Solomid is the Sivir actually gets taken out on the side of Counter Logic Gaming this time. Both of the 80 carries in this game have played it 2 to 3 times.
So they're not planning on first picking Sivir, and that means they don't want to give it away as an option to Team Solomid, because Sivir's sort of been the theme of the weekend here this past weekend in North America. Everybody's been either picking it or banning it in almost all the games and running those dive-heavy compositions that really benefit from the speed. They're trying to get some fans back in their favor.
Yeah,
TSM's got a whole bunch of fans, but CLG trying to play to the crowd here.
A lot of things that they can go ahead and try to choose for a first pick. It's going to be the blind one, so probably make it something that won't tell too much of their hand. A lot of Sivir was getting picked up, but she is on the ban list. They still have Vi for Dexter. He's played that twice in a row. We saw him on Elise and Olaf back at Battle of the Atlantic. So he has those in his belt. But did he go for 80 carries? They're getting a high pick today.
So they banned out Sivir even though they were going to first pick Caitlyn. That is
that's WildTurtle's Caitlyn.
Very interesting, because Caitlyn has a very favorable matchup against Sivir, as we've seen already proved today.
Maybe afraid of that Stampede, man. It's been doing a lot of scary things. Like Thresh will be the lock-in here. Xpecial wouldn't really want anything else, and their homework is done here if they pick up the Vi. OddOne's been doing quite well on that. He has 3 and 0, so 100%. And like we just said, that is Dexter's only used jungler so far in the NALCS.
Meanwhile, CLG, the first pick, Caitlyn, makes me think that they're going to want to get early towers. They're going to want to sort of play to some sort of poking or sieging strengths with the rest of their picks and go along with that theme. Because Doublelift is definitely has the options of taking a endgame hyper carry, somebody who's capable of making more plays than a Caitlyn. But first picking that Caitlyn kind of makes me think that they're going to go with more of a PvE style team this time around.
Hovering over that Jarvan. We really haven't seen too much of that unless you're watching the Challenger series with Broken Shard throwing out the Jarvan. Eve has been seen quite a bit in Europe. A lot of time being used here by CLG to go for their picks. Seems like they're actually not really sure what they want to get in that jungle. A lot of talk coming from Dexter. He's going to lock in that Olaf.
Wow, so Olaf plus Shyvana, very heavy dive duo there before they even see the AD carry of TSM. It's a very strong front line. If you have that threatening of a front line, then it kind of frees up Caitlyn even without having to peel for her. If your front line is always diving so deep into the opponents that the opponents have to collapse, then it kind of frees up your AD carry to fire away from the backside.
This could be the lock-in for Team Solomid. Pantheon actually didn't see any of the pick or ban this game. It would be the first time today with these junglers looking to really counteract each other. At least OddOne with that Vi pick. The Lucian is locked in. Somebody tweeted they would not want to face WildTurtle Lucian. That combo and player are pretty aggressive in the lane. WildTurtle knows how to farm while putting that damage down as well, which makes it so scary.
Yeah, and both these teams, you know, TSM also picking up a strong front line for themselves. A nice dive duo here for the late game, Vi and Mundo. Very, very similar so far for CLG and TSM. And of course, they're saving their mid lane picks until the end. TSM, since they are second, they're going to be able to counter pick it. Lulu locked in. That will be a mid lane Lulu. Now, a lot of people are saying there's not like a real strong counter pick for Lulu, but saw Froggen tweet out that he's got some secret champion he's been using very effectively as a counter to the mid lane Lulu. But nobody knows what it is.
It's very safe. Scar kept going back to skill matchup. So maybe Froggen just is superior on the skill of the champion he has in mind. We'll see what Link can do on it this game. It will be his second pickup coming in on that Lulu. They get a little bit of the speed up. They can speed up one person.
Yeah. Any of those melees is a great option to speed up. Lulu can boost Leona for the engage, or just go for Olaf or Shyvana and assist them with their diving potential going after Lucian, because WildTurtle is going to be a lot more slippery than Doublelift is.
Bjergsen locking in the Nidalee. Don't be fooled, he can get kills on Nidalee.
Oh, yeah.
You'll see him playing a safe game as well. We saw this from Coast just now with the Nidalee. They don't exactly have the Jax top lane. Dyrus goes back to the Mundo pick. That'll be his 4th time on Mundo, and possibly a 4th consecutive win since he is 3-0 on that. TSM getting, looks like a lot of picks that they've had before and feel comfortable heading into the game with, especially stealing Vi away from Dexter.
CLG, they've got ridiculously tanky front line that's going to be boosted by Lulu.
Yeah.
That mid pick really boosts their front line a lot more than adding what other mages would bring to the table. Meanwhile, TSM, they have global advantage teleport from Mundo, and they have late game poking Nidalee spears. So a little bit different options there towards the end game for TSM.
All right, well, the game's about to get underway. Let's see who made their way to LOLesports.com and put in their vote. According to that voting, it is 81% in favor of Team Solomid to make it 11 wins in a row.
They do have a ridiculous record right now, so it's a safe bet to go with the
They lost that first
numbers.
game against Cloud9 and then proceeded to beat everybody in the league. That's kind of how that happened. The first game, our champions, they really haven't gone back to either. TSM with Nunu in the jungle and Nasus up top. There really wasn't anything that worked out from that game. Too passive is what they said. It's not our style of play.
Yeah, definitely. This seems more like a well-rounded set of champions for TSM. As we said, they have a lot more options here for the late game.
Well, hopefully they have some options. TSM's wheelhouse strategy used to be they were strong in everything. Towers wouldn't even drop on their side until 30 minutes in the game when you got this crazy chance to get it down. So TSM, very knowledgeable about taking the early game and just completely running with it. We'll see if CLG can stop that. They've been having an amazing run for themselves here ever since Mondi's been back in town and Dexter's on the team. See if they can start getting themselves up into the top of the standings.
Well, they do have a very strong early game combination of Shyvana plus Olaf. That duo puts out a lot more damage than the Mundo plus Vi will early. Vi's got to land the ball breaker to make her gank effective, whereas Olaf can just keep picking up his axes for the undertow. I think Dyrus will be well aware, though, of team's tendency to want to dive Mundo early. So Dyrus will be putting up defensive wards fairly early and play more safe.
Yeah. I like this. Oh, come on now. You got to open your eyes when you throw those.
He's on the phone. That's why you don't...
Oh, he is on the phone. That's true.
No texting and driving. Similar thing here.
It's a good thing he's walking.
You don't want to be throwing briefcase while you're on the phone.
That's all right, especially when you're getting fireballs thrown
look,
at
he's
you.
claimed the bush at least. Nien's not even going to be allowed to the top lane. Dyrus has claimed this is his zone.
We'll have some minion damage advantage coming into the lane here. Oh.
So the next one will actually stick. Oh, never mind, he doesn't hit it. If he hits the next one...
That was a behind the back.
Then you can't regenerate that before the minions get there.
You just couldn't get it to connect. So back and forth, Dyrus and Nien checking out the resistances real quick. The wards are down to start off from the trinkets. They're actually holding here by Aphromoo and Nien as well for a little bit later of a trinket.
Now, both junglers are not going to be assisted by their bottom lanes because we said these bottom lanes are going to be fighting over every single minion early. Early level 2 from any Leona lane is always important. And both junglers are going to be doing their own buffs. Olaf has no problem doing his jungle solo. So that'll be very easy for him.
Bjergsen, he's super calm in mid. Takes a quick drink there, gets himself set up. Link letting him know he's having fun as well, getting a good Lulu laugh out. You can see anytime he gets the chance, trying to double Glitter Lance. Get that damage in, level 1 still. Very nice flayback.
Doublelift didn't get to auto attack, though, to proc that passive from Leona. A little bit of extra damage there. Now Link gets the early level 2. Lulu is all about the early game. Little pokey trades that she can pull off in this matchup.
Getting in Bjergsen's head with the laugh. We'll see. Looks like Bjergsen easily going for that heal first to keep himself farming under the turret if necessary. But Link's not able to push it in as fast as Kale did last game on Lulu. So we see 3 minutes in. the glitter lance just repeatedly over to Bjergsen as he heals.
So that's going to afford him both harassed and a shoving minion wave, which is going to be good for him. But as I said last game, Nidalee is about sustain in lane early, just trying to get every CS that she can and not get shoved out. Meanwhile, you know, that leaves a very few options for the TheOddOne to gank early. He's not going to want to go to the mid lane, of course, because Nidalee doesn't have very many options for setting up ganks.
Right.
Same thing with Mundo, though. Shyvana will be pushing in Dyrus, and it would have to be a long lane chase for them to grab something back. So it looks like it will be bottom lane focus for the early ganks.
Huzzah!
Who can smite it? Oh, Dexter does smite it.
Dexter gets it away, and that's what the team was talking about. Dexter making moves very early. It's his calls in the beginning of the game, and then it switches to Link and Aphromoo mid-game. So it's all him.
Ever so slight a lead now for Dexter. But TheOddOne still has his smite up for the double golem. And want to see how close Nien gets. Because Dexter did that invade, he was able to tip off his top laner and let him know the TheOddOne's on the top side of the map.
Ooh.
Bottom lane as well.
When do you think Xpecial's going to miss that play? Because he does not. Aphromoo trying to go in again takes a good bit of harass.
Pings all over the mid lane here with both junglers very deep. Dexter calling for the early invade.
Okay, Undertow on, keep himself safe, but they're still pinging away quite hard. You can see the roam here from Doublelift and Aphromoo a little bit, getting the ward down and making sure everything is safe.
Because CLG do have the stronger early game, I like the repeated invades from Dexter. Anytime you have all of your lanes that are going to be winning lanes, strong lanes that will shove up to the turret, you want to go fight the enemy jungler, cause him to waste more time, and also it tips your team off so that they know they can play aggressive. And they can actually play to the strength of these champions.
Dyrus level 5 before Nien hitting it though, but they're very close in the top lane, and CS is more action in the bottom. Dexter almost getting himself grabbed there, but Aphromoo probably hoping and wishing he was grabbed by that.
And Dexter, even though he's making a lot of these moves, and it seems like he may be wasting more time, he's not. Every time he's in the jungle, he's grabbing away some camps, and he's staying up there in CS, right with the TheOddOne.
And the TheOddOne won't have his usual game, you know, kind of reiterating that fact that you can't help Nidalee with the kills. Dyrus isn't going to be getting that since he'll probably be the one dying if Nien and Dexter can get a good gank. So we'll have to see how the TheOddOne fares on this. He had a great Pantheon game recently, which was actually open this game. But as we said, they wanted to get that Vi away from Dexter. We'll see if they can make it count with that pick.
Yeah, he's probably going to just farm up till he gets that level 6.
Like Dominic was talking about that spike.
The bottom lane is a great area for him to gank when he gets level 6 because he can get the Thresh Lantern in and guarantee that you can start your gank off with the Assault and Battery and then use Vault Breaker for the extra CC to hit him backwards instead of using it for a gap closer, which is a much better option. Allows you more damage and more time where your opponent is controlled.
Might be a difficult gank. All the flashes are up in the bottom lane, but I'm sure the teams are communicating that before it happens, so they're going to try to get around Turtle. Not behind Xpecial that time, and we can see it actually hitting on the Zenith Blade. They're going to trade some very nice damage.
Yeah, able to land. Combo from Leona, affording him some favorable trades. Meanwhile, Nien has started his proxy play with Shyvana, so he's going to be drawing more attention from TSM up to the top lane. And it's up to Dexter to play to that strong lane. Because Nien has such aggressive play up here, and because he has a little bit of an advantage, you want to assist him in that advantage and play to that strength.
Dexter's just on the other side, giving vision of TheOddOne as well. In the end, thought he was getting pretty in a pretty serious situation there. But he will be all right. Looks like Dexter's going to haul out of the jungle as well. Looking at these inventories right now and the CS, everything is pretty darn close in this game. And that's the way it's probably going to stay until we see that first dragon, the first time that Dyrus can teleport and get himself in the game, maybe.
TheOddOne worried that his red has been pre-warded because Olaf has such early game power. He's going to be expecting invades, and he drops the pink in that bush. The only reason he would drop it in that bush and not the one that's just above would be that he thought there was a ward existing by that red, because otherwise, the one above, people are much less likely to walk in there, and it still affords you vision of that area.
With the ward they have down around the Wraiths, it looks like Dexter knows the TheOddOne is going to be somewhere around the bottom. Make sure he's not too close and sets himself up for something here. We also have the roam down from Link, and this could be that point I was talking about. Dyrus does have teleport. CLG has to be careful.
Well, both teams are playing very cautiously. Dexter is timing the buffs, and he's going for the second respawn of the blue, but it's answered completely by
nice
TSM.
job,
They collapse. So blue buff is secured by the TheOddOne, but it's not given over to Nidalee, who really, really wants that for her sustained laning style.
So already CLG trying to tack on the pressure here. Cut down Bjergsen as much as possible. If the TheOddOne won't be getting him going, he's going to have to get himself going, and taking away the blue buff will stop that just a little bit more. We see the BF sword being picked up by WildTurtle in the bottom lane, along with a long sword, a few consumables so he can get back to lane and play that aggressive but farming Lucian that we know so well from WildTurtle.
Yeah, and Doublelift is saving up a bit more money. If he can save up enough to get the BF plus Vamp Scepter before coming back to lane, then he'll have the sustained advantage. TheOddOne trying to go for the retaliation blue contest, but unable to take it.
Dyrus has done pretty well for himself. Looks like he's avoided the Mundo gank early game by getting low, or by keeping himself up and not getting low, I should say. The gold only about 100 difference as it ticks up constantly on each side by 100 by 100. And that's just the farm here. We haven't seen too much aggression other than the blue buffs trying to be waved over to each other's side. But everybody's getting what they need right now, except for Bjergsen. He's hurting a little bit, but keeping himself in the game.
I think that even though there's no big tell up top, Dyrus is also getting what he wants. He's staying even in CS with Shyvana. He still has his teleport, so he hasn't had to burn any unnecessary cooldowns, and that's exactly what Mundo wants for the early game. So this is actually going according to Dyrus' plan at the moment.
Nice farming. Last few CS onto the turret. Nien keeping sure that he is always farming behind, giving Dyrus a little bit of trouble, and making sure that turret can be taken down if he teleports down to the bottom lane. Nien's already got great damage on the turret, and we've seen Dexter up top once.
Now, Vi is making his move down bottom right now. The TheOddOne has a Assault and Battery. Is burning a hole in his pocket, but it is the dragon play. So top turret fairly healthy right now. Dyrus is going to try and provide his support for Dragon, and then return up there before Nien is able to get too much work done on it.
He should be able to take it. It's about half
burning
health.
It down.
Got one wave coming in. A few more hits on this. Dyrus teleporting to the bottom lane should allow that gold to swing back over. We have a few minutes left for that next blue buff of TSM to be coming up. We'll see if CLG keeps the focus and the timer in that zone.
So now the situation on the map is that there's no objective bottom side that they have to worry about. So Dyrus can actually freeze top lane and force Nien to extend much further into TSM territory. So it's a bit more dangerous now for TSM, even though you get more map control and slightly more of an advantage getting that turret. Now it makes the game a lot more chancy for Nien, having to be a little bit further up. And you can see he's playing more cautiously because of it.
He's got 1,500 gold to spend right now, so he may go back at some point soon. Right now he just wants to soak up the rest of these minions, doesn't feel too much of a threat, and his team's wards have actually kind of dissipated down by that Wraith area, so he should be a little careful.
Dyrus in trouble now, actually.
He's got some cavalry finally coming in. Dexter from the backside. Dyrus not liking this too much. Throws on the ultimate. He also tried to flash out of that one, and they get him down. Early game or not.
Dyrus, he got the briefcase off at the end of that ward, but then went up to place another, trying to get close to play with the dragon inside of that tri-bush. And Dexter right behind the end. A good call by CLG to get the kill, but it cost them the objective bottom because that's where the TheOddOne went. Jungler pressure on two different sides of the maps just results in another trade.
I think that was one of those things CLG had on their mind is, this is one of the set things we want to do. We want to kill Deathless Dyrus. Get him a kill. So they did get one on him after so many games of never dying. And we'll see what Link can do as he tries to dodge out spears here from Bjergsen. Already the Athenes finished on both sides. Just the extra ring on the finger of Bjergsen to give him some help.
That trade, though, the second trade there, where it's a kill for Dyrus for the bottom lane turret, actually affords TSM even more control for the second dragon, because they already have the timer. So that's already an upper hand. But now they also have the turret down, and Dyrus has teleport. So the next time that thing comes around, we'll be looking for TSM again to make the exact same play.
Yep, he's halfway done for that teleport to come back up, like you said, just easily freezing that lane in the top so far until it's normally pushed. Now it's all in the favor of Nien to soak up, 114 to 108. Not many people really keep up with Dyrus in CS, or Nien in CS, but against each other, they can't figure out a way to get it apart.
So yeah, Dyrus is actually, he's not opting for the freeze. He's going for the extra farm that comes from jungle. He's getting the wave in lane, and then he goes back to double golem. So it's a similar idea because you're getting more minions killed than your opponent, but you don't actually lose map pressure. So the extra gold from those double golems is going to Dyrus, but he's also trying to shove the lane back as quickly as he can.
Everything even except for the kills. You look up at top at that gold, the turrets. 14 minutes on the clock right now. A hook trying to come in. They do get Aphromoo. Not many people can follow up on this. That solar flare comes down. Aphromoo somehow still alive in this fight. They're going to be able to take him down as Dexter getting focused on here by Bjergsen. He's trying to make moves all for himself. That turret is gone. Like you said, Kobe, this opens up Dragon, but it also does not give CLG a way to run. Xpecial throwing the hook over the shoulder. Whoa, Link coming down from the outside. Not a good spot to be in. Forces the flash and wild growth.
And they can just stay here. TSM have a blue buff Nidalee. They can actually even siege up this early in the game. 15 minutes in, they can pressure the secondary turrets. They decide to recall, though. TheOddOne too low. He doesn't want to stick around.
Very good engage by Team Solomid. A little bit of ground is finally gained towards that bottom lane. It's somewhere we were looking the entire game. Nien trying to keep the pressure on the top.
And TSM, although they don't stay bottom for the pressure, they just rotate up mid. So it's the exact same pressure, just different turret, another outer one. And it also means that since they're putting pressure on mid, they can try and control the blue buff of CLG, which would be a really, really big win for them. They've got people in the area, but they don't have vision on it.
That was a great spear. He actually was able to get Aphromoo on it. Making him count. Bjergsen just finds a way to make that a troublesome lane for anybody else. No matter what champion he is on, you are going to have a hard time in mid.
Yeah, so they do give up the blue, but it means TSM get turret damage.
Yeah.
Aphromoo closing in behind Bjergsen, but he is Nidalee, no problem.
He's got TheOddOne in his back pocket as usual as well. Been completely safe there. Looking at what the junglers have for each other, a very even game there as well. The golems coming out for the Nientonsoh on the side of the TheOddOne as he quickly goes for a little bit more armor against his team. He was seeing Dexter a little bit more than he wanted to in that early game.
Yeah, and the TheOddOne's ult just coming up now too. So they do again have the option to go for something offensive. As we said before, Nien very far extended in enemy territory, but he has completed his Blade of the Ruin King, so he's got an extra speed buff / debuff that he can add for his escape.
Not nearly as many pink wards as we saw Coast putting down, but still, Dyrus trying to keep the pink wards up for his team in that top lane. He's not really going to be able to use that until he gets somewhere. But
And Dragon 10 seconds to come up means that, as we said before, TSM, they've got the teleport Mundo. TSM don't have to start this Dragon. All they have to do is wait. If they keep CLG around here with 5 people, then they're going to gain advantage in the top lane. So all that TSM want to do is poke with Bjergsen and try and occupy CLG.
In the end, doing a great job in mid. Bjergsen kind of tunneling in a little bit on those spears, but he was holding off 3 members of Counterlogic Gaming there for a second.
Great push.
Turret goes down to mid, and CLG takes advantage of that little bit of cat and mouse.
They know that TSM are just trying to stall them. And so that was actually a really good move by Nien, going right for that mid turret. and they're able to get a lot of money from that.
This is going to be scary. That top turret's getting hit up by
TSM
Dyrus right now. If he can get the turret, come back down. The solar flare goes in. A great wild growth out in the end. The Dragon's onto the back line. Dyrus is here, though. Doublelift's on the backside. He's only got Dyrus and Xpecial to shoot. Looking at Link. He takes a huge spear. WildTurtle to the backside for the kill. Eyes on the TheOddOne. The Zenith blade pokes him in the back and gets the kill. Dyrus is very low, but Sadism keeping him up. The double kill coming in. Turtle, the triple kill. One shot, and he's good to go.
They win the fight, and that rewards them with the Dragon. The spoils of war are going to go to TSM here. Dexter has a chance to walk around, but that would be a very, very slim chance. And yet, not wasting any time. He knows they've lost the Dragon. He goes to try and answer a little bit. It's just a chip on the turret, but it's something.
He's got a whole wave to go ahead and pressure, or push, in that top lane to create more pressure, I should say.
Yeah, look at him
Stealing
go.
out the red buff. He's going to take that, but he may find a turtle. He's pretty wild.
Turtle
Gonna
has
put on
red
a
buff.
shell.
Oh, he doesn't
turtle.
get an auto
One
attack.
shot. No, right. Didn't get the passive shot in. No red slow.
All right, so again, we'll look at the trade here. TSM, they get themselves cornered, but Dyrus is teleporting in right now. As soon as he joins the fight, it'll be okay. TheOddOne is able to peel instead of diving the enemy line because he knows Dyrus is coming in on that ward to try and zone Doublelift. Once he finally does get in, working that regeneration to the max and sort of baits in Aphromoo and Doublelift, allowing Turtle to fire from over his shoulder.
If you get a chance, watch that fight again. WildTurtle just kind of waltzes through the entire fight and nobody looks at him.
Because he's got the beefy front line.
Yep.
And Dyrus, that's one of the best
Such
things
good
about
feel.
Mundo. He sits at low life, so you want to finish him off. But the regeneration is so intense that
Just
sort
this
of
one
baited
shot.
them in. Exactly.
Everybody thinks the last hit's going to kill him. You turn away. He keeps coming. 20 minutes into the game, a 2,000 gold lead is finally grabbed up by Team Solomid. Great plays coming in. WildTurtle on his Lucian, now 4-0-1. He's getting pretty big. I'm sure he's got some gold to be spending.
Yeah. That was a very close call for TSM, though, in that last fight. Very, very close to going to CLG's way.
Teleport was necessary.
Yeah, if TheOddOne had not decided to peel and save Bjergsen instead of going offensive, then it might have been a completely different story. Because Bjergsen, still at low life, is able to add the heals and the spears from the back line. As long as he doesn't get finished off in the initial stun from CLG.
So with these wins, Team Solomid kind of has a portion of time where they can just brute force this. CLG knows they can't compare to the damage, and they're forced to watch turrets go down.
So TSM, we talked about the extra options that they have later, and the Nidalee Spears do a huge part in that.
The end's always in a weird spot, somewhere down the line, way behind the team, offsides, but nobody calls him for it. He's doing a good job.
And I really like it. He's making many more plays than he usually does. His early game presence has been a bit stronger than it usually is. Even though the CS in Dyrus' favor, you know, he got the turret. He started invading on red side.
Whoa, this is that CLG movement, that rotation, trying to read the minds of their opponent. Dyrus now getting hit up, and he's in the middle of the fight. Who are they going to focus? Aphromoo gets the wild growth, but he goes down. It's going to be TheOddOne getting down in the trade as well. In the end, you should leave him, Dexter. Link, get out of there. This is going to be bad. Turtle does not get the W on for the passive movement speed with the culling. They're going to have to back off anyway.
I'm pretty sure TheOddOne flashed over the wall, then ulted back the other way. So that might have been a wasted summoner spell there for TheOddOne.
It looked like a good
They got
move.
another kill, and it was a 2-for-1 trade. So in the end, they get more out of it.
CLG trying to make moves. Dexter was the leader in that fight.
Yeah, very aggressive
Link was
call.
awful in the front.
He said he's a very aggressive playmaker, and he wants to make those early, deep movements.
We'll see if the calls change at all. We did see on that board in the video that it's Link and Aphromoo towards the mid-game that makes the calls for CLG. Not too much has gone wrong for them. They haven't completely tossed this game out the window. It's 34,000 to 31. They still have many moves to be made, and they've taken down the outer 3 turrets, so at least they've gotten that door down.
Yeah, they're going to have a hard time dealing with late-game Nidalee Spears, though.
Yeah.
You know, they've got a beefy front line that can catch a few, but because Bjergsen got up to such a good start, his spears are going to be ahead of the curve that the tanks are on. His power curve is out in front of the tankiness that the front line is building here.
A little bit of a call for help onto Baron from CLG.
Whoa! Cat form chasing down the dragon.
They kind of walked next to each other for a second. Didn't expect it to be so close.
Counter push mid from CLG.
This is good. Try to make TSM adapt when they are trying to make the move. CLG is looking to get themselves into the jungle at least and clear this out, and then they can gain a little bit of ground to start that war, start that fight.
Uh-oh, Doublelift. You don't want to get too close to that Vi, because that is definitely the target OddOne's always looking for. His #1 priority, grabbing and locking up Doublelift. Meanwhile, Link is...
They're saying, let's
Bjergsen,
blow up Link.
Bjergsen's on the,
Bjergsen.
on the run here. So used to saying Link on Nidalee.
He got me into it. We got 3-2 in turrets.
Oh, the chase
The
on
top
Nidalee
turret is the one for TSM.
This is like classic Hotshot style, where Hotshot on Nidalee would draw people up to his top lane, and then the rest of the team would grab a turret.
Yep.
So TSM using sort of classic old CLG against them.
Yeah, I'm sure they thought we remember this as it was happening. Nien stays in the top lane to push that wave, and he's going to call Dyrus back up there. The teleport is up for Team Solomid. The Dragon is in 30 seconds, and they are in every position to take that for themselves.
And they really have immense ward coverage over this top side of the jungle. Look at the pink wards and the regular wards here for TSM. That is way too much vision than they should rightly have on that side of the map. And the top turret is still up, so that is a point of pressure for them. They can, you know, threaten to take that extra global gold and force CLG to play on their side of the map.
We got sweepers coming out for CLG. They are being used. You can see Dexter's is on cooldown, but they've gotten a little bit of that top jungle cleared with the trinkets dying and them trying to get out the regular wards as well. It's 24 minutes in. CLG needs to do a lot more than just ward
Dyrus
clear.
has teleport right now, and so CLG forcing this. They're trying to either make him burn teleport. Oh, he is going to burn it, and they're going for the dragon.
CLG has seen this fight before. Dyrus is in right in the front. Turtle getting hit up. A good focus in here coming in from the OddOne, or rather from Dexter. And they're going to try to kill him down. They won't be able to get it. Nien's forced out of the fight. They do come up with a fast kill there, though. Dyrus is
so
just...
low!
Oh, my God, he lives. No way. Nien and Aphromoo are both down as CLG tries to back out of this fight. Doublelift forced to flash. So chaotic, and Link almost getting grabbed back in.
And that was with OddOne ulting on Nien to get to the back of the fight, just trying to get himself out of danger. He didn't even use the ult there onto Doublelift. TSM able to answer the dragon, and Dyrus' teleport came in at the perfect time. I had to say, that is a very hard thing to pull off, and TSM were criticized so much last year for their communication with Dyrus when he was running like Shen and other teleport top laners.
Right.
That was the perfect teleport. Look at Dragon's health. It's just low enough to keep CLG interested, but not low enough that they can execute it. And everybody turns back around. They all kite backwards, allowing Dyrus to heal up all of his health here, even though they do get an ignite down. Not able to finish it off.
The OddOne just hanging around WildTurtle the whole time.
Yeah,
great flash there.
He's been playing the bodyguard style.
Super bodyguard.
He's been peeling every time instead of diving. As I said in the first fight where he went to go peel for Bjergsen, this time again, he actually ults Nien.
Yeah.
So he's much more of a defensive lineman than he is looking for the sack on Doublelift.
Well, you get Bjergsen on somebody like Nidalee, an escape artist, somebody that can, a champion rather, that can be very slippery. And you don't have to peel for him. He's doing what he needs to. 3-0-3, putting up a good game on the poke champion of Nid. The Spears are coming out strong, and they have themselves been initiating a lot of what TSM can move on in these fights. We see that, and the teleport being an option, which was just used. So they got a lot on their plate to work with.
Let's look at TSM. Where is their power concentrated? It's concentrated on Bjergsen and WildTurtle, the two perfect champions for them to put all their money on. That's going to be the super strong Nidalee Spears for the Sieges. And then the Lucian bringing the combat for the team fights that they have. So both of their damage dealers very, very much fed right now. And CLG's money is more spread out. You know, they've got a lot on the end there, and then a little bit onto Doublelift.
OddOne able to put a little bit of damage with that Brutalizer into his build from Vi. We saw Dominic building up a Triforce quite early on her earlier, but at 0-2-7, doing big things for his team. Yep, that Talisman getting pushed out there by Xpecial. A little bit of scaredness coming from CLG.
He lands one cleaver, a briefcase.
Oh, he gets the W. They got the movement speed on that one. Can Dyrus follow it up? Just the damage to be tacked on to the front end of the health bars of CLG. And
now,
they're able to kite it.
That will be a Lucian ultimate down for a potential siege. You know, they would love to use that Lucian ultimate to clear out a minion wave and continue to throw Nidalee spears through. But that cooldown not going to be available, so they sort of back off and play vision game instead.
The impact of these spears pretty huge with the Rabadons being finished. That is looking to be finished on the side of Link. Him in the back line. Wild Growth is up for this engagement. Trying to get in range. Dyrus is the one hit up first. They slow things down.
That's huge!
That was very big. Xpecial brings himself over the wall. The box is down. Doublelift cannot enter the fight. It's only Nien that's getting hit up. They actually go full assault and battery onto him. Xpecial getting hit by Doublelift on the backside. He is not getting any focus. Dyrus now going down pretty hard here. A huge spear going onto Aphromoo, but they're all staying perfectly out of range of more damage. Turtle coming in big with a huge hit there. Looks like it's going to be OddOne and Dyrus down. Huge hit onto Aphromoo, and they keep going for the fight.
Bjergsen's on the chase.
God, he hits the wolf. Doublelift trying to heal back up. Dodges out the spear with the fancy footwork, and it looks like they're going to be able to keep it safe for now.
No.
Not going over the wall.
Look at WildTurtle. He spent this whole time shoving up mid lane. Bjergsen and Xpecial are really just running interference right now. They're going to afford him inhibitor turret damage.
Whoa. That was just a mind games by Bjergsen. He knew somebody was going to be backing there. Nien does not look like he's going to have too much to get out of this one. It's going to be bad.
WildTurtle's on the inhibitor turret too, and Bjergsen's going to get Nien's kill.
Oh, trying to go back and forth. He's just wasting time, but how much time are you wasting? Your team needs to get to mid. That was a bit off to the side. Sun was in his eyes, but he gets out safely.
Shuffling backward there. TSM need to go heal right now because WildTurtle is out of mana, but man, was that a well-played follow-up from TSM. Initially, I thought it was going to turn bad because OddOne got baited in. He used his ultimate onto Nien, who got the wild growth from Link, and then got completely destroyed. But TSM did not give up on the fight, and WildTurtle made a play of his own, taking down, forget who was that, who was Squishy. He obliterated, I think it was Aphromoo. And then Bjergsen with the chase. Yeah, here we go. Refresh your memory here. Now, they do get the hook on Nien, and they get him so low that OddOne wants to use his assault and battery onto Nien. And instantly, Link gets the knock-up from his ulti, and all the aggression turns right around on OddOne. So, 4 versus 5 looks great. But now is the time. Okay, Dyrus gets annihilated too, and then they turn it around. It is Link that he goes aggressive on. And then Doublelift also takes half of that damage.
WildTurtle hitting a great W in the middle of that fight, too. An open inhibitor turret means that, or inhibitor, I should say, means that's going to go down. 12-6 is the score. Spears just missing off to the side. Nobody gets a pie to the face that time, but they do lose the inhibitor, and TSM walks out happy.
That last fight determined so much of this game. It was so long. And I have to say that the split there, WildTurtle deciding to go down middle and just allowing Xpecial and Bjergsen to chase was a genius call.
TSM has just kind of made teams force to dragon fights. 2 games in a row now, a teleport down by Dyrus has really started to swing the game. And just from there, TSM knows how to control it if they have a lead in each lane.
Yeah, they're playing this with a very level head, TSM. They're not making any rash decisions. And it's a very methodical game for them so far. Trading objective for objective each time, or being able to turn their map pressure into much more.
That hurts a lot, especially when it's the AP damage in mid. That's not the support Lulu coming in this game. It's Link's second attempt on Lulu. He has a win in the first game, but this time definitely a much harder matchup. He's down about 40 CS, 3 kills, and an assist.
So Bjergsen just looking to outscale Link, not necessarily destroy him in lane.
Right.
And he did just that. He's hit the point on Nidalee. Death cap plus point Sabathines. We're gonna have to keep pausing every 5 seconds when he throws another spear.
That's so crazy. That would have been easily more than half of his HP. A 10,000 gold lead is still what TSM is working with right now. Dyrus with teleport up, he becomes a troublesome factor for Counter Logic Gaming.
Because both of these teams were playing it so well, it was only just a couple of plays, individual plays, that were able to turn the tide. So very close.
In and out.
They don't have vision in sight yet. Dexter's so far away. This should be TSM finishing off the Baron because TheOddOne shouldn't be too worried about Nien. They're closed in though. Dexter's now in the area. They can't finish it now.
They got to stop going for the Baron. The box goes down. We're looking at the backside. Dexter actually runs in and he steals it. No way! Dexter with the plays. He said he's going to be aggressive and go for the play, and he makes it. TheOddOne going for the up and the down. Nien could get hit up here, and he vault breakers out of the pit. WildTurtle throws on the calling and tries to bash some damage into Dexter. Doublelift gets hit up big. Dyrus flashes over the wall. Sademus Masochism is on, and they're going to start throwing out their damage. Here comes the janitor crew. The cleanups to come in. The shutdown actually going over onto Bjergsen. That happens for Link, and it looks like they'll be able to get this last kill if he doesn't have the speed to get away. He hits the cleaver that makes it count, but we have a few more kills to finish the fight.
Dyrus still running for his life. Throwing off the cleavers, just trying to waste some time. Things finally get messy here. And that was a very big turnaround for CLG. Got a lot of gold back in their pockets, but all of those Baron buffs are not on the table anymore. They're only going to have half of them left. So, they got the Baron super low, and then they were fairly indecisive around it. Dexter, he made a long run up there. Instead of focusing down the Baron before he got there, they kept it kind of low, waited because Nien was doing a very good job threatening the Baron, and Dexter arrives just in time to steal it away. TSM go for the cleanup, and they see everybody so low, but watch, this is where Bjergsen overextends. He gets so close, he tries to get back out of the fight, but it's not in time. Link's able to land
glitter
that
lands
and take him out. Just such a very, very close fight here. But CLG, even though they got the Baron buff on those two members, they're still behind in gold, and they're still behind in map pressure.
Absolutely crazy outcome. TSM going for the Baron. Thought they had it for sure, but we know what that worm can do to a game, and it looks like it's going to flop it around for now. They're still down quite a bit. TSM still, like you said, handily has the lead of this game, but a mistake like that will play on your mind, and CLG has been coming out on top of these fights ever so slightly.
Yeah, keeping the Baron that low, extremely dangerous. Either got to pull all the way out or finish him off.
Well, that's the thing. They're like, CLG's on their heels. They're not going to do this, but that's the plays that need to be made. You need somebody like Dexter to, get in the mind of TSM and know that they're thinking.
But even with, Link and Doublelift having Baron buff, TSM goes straight up the middle. What in the world?
That was an Looks like Nien wants to get in there too. There's a very nice solar flare, but can they react? Turtle doesn't have the peel that he needs right now, and he goes down. TSM gets a kill on Aphromoo, but it looks like they're both going to split 2-1.
Communication falters there for CLG. A little bit early from Dexter coming in from the backside. And they do lose 2 for 1.
Gonna have to reset. That's just Dexter losing Baron. Aphromoo has lost Baron now. They still have it on Doublelift and Link. Can still put out some pretty big damage here. There's a little whimsy. You can see he's really just shooting a brick wall in Dyrus right now. It's going to take a lot to get him down.
Dyrus does have to be a little
Unless
bit careful,
he just stands there.
Lulu's
come on.
So
now.
The big thing about Lulu is the unexpected damage and her ability to control the speed of both you and of her own team. So speeding up Doublelift there, really catching off Dyrus out of. Oh my God!
Dyrus knows all about getting caught up by minions.
One.
He got kind of deep path there. Couldn't get himself out with the slow and everything from Link. And we actually see Link, good hands there, catching a spear, but almost 100-0 on the HP bar. Bjergsen going full glass cannon in this game. Looks like he's finally trying to get the Zanyas out towards the end here. 17-12, 36 minutes into the game, Kobe. Still quite a demanding lead by Team Solomid, but that used to be a 10,000 gold lead. Now it's only 6.
Yeah, after a very clean early game from both teams, some mistakes definitely coming to light on both sides. And TSM have opened the door for the comeback from CLG. We know how long TSM and CLG games can go, so don't get ahead of yourselves. This is definitely...
This is still early game.
This is still early game.
Yeah. We have a ways to go. 5-4 in turrets.
This is a dangerous trap to set in the end. You may catch someone, but you don't have any backup, so still very dangerous for him.
A lot of pings going down from both teams. They lock him up. Bjergsen can't jump over the wall. It was a little too high for him.
They got so much damage down on him, though, and Bjergsen's out of position. They know that this is their chance. They have an opening.
Boom! Turret shot comes back. Trades that. Retribution kill coming in for Bjergsen there. And it looks like he will be able to get back with his team. He's a little far off. He has to get healed up, and CLG may be able to take this turret with brute force. Xpecial from the side. Bjergsen's about to enter the fight. The spear comes in and knocks down Dexter almost to the kill ability level. Looks like they're going to go in even harder. Dexter throws on the Ghost and the Ragnarok and says, later, I'm out. Nien gets hooked in. Xpecial with the hooks all day long, and they feed it right over to Bjergsen.
Stay way too long at that turret. CLG traded 1-for-1, and Bjergsen with home guards. Iller joined the fight and turned that one right around the spear, right in Dexter's back, got him so low. Every time we show the crowd, they take down the sign. Some sort of trolley crowd they got here.
Looks like TSM is quickly lanterning right inside the base. They're going to go ahead and pick up this inhibitor, get the heals down onto Bjergsen for the attack speed, and they're also picking up Dragon at the same time. A lot of the map is theirs, and it's theirs to lose right now. Chronologic Gaming has a lot of work to do to get themselves back into this, as they're starting to inch ever so closely back to TSM, but then TSM says nope and pushes CLG off the ledge.
All right, so this is the turtle kill. They do go extremely deep for this, but man, Link takes a giant hit there.
Quick kills all over the map. It shows you the carnage of this game. They try to activate something on one side of the map, and the other team will try to take hold right away of what's in front of them.
And because of the hook onto Doublelift and the chain CC from TheOddOne, his damage gets taken out of the fight immediately, and it's very easy for TSM to clean this one up, having a full health Bjergsen come out of the fountain with his home guards.
Special on Thresh. What do you expect?
Cornered.
Not going to be a good situation here. They get out what they need.
He gets cold!
Baron in 25 seconds. I don't think they're going to have anything to say about it on CLG side.
Yeah, they've got an extra person down. Dyrus has his teleport up. There's so many options for TSM. 15 seconds on the Baron. Dexter could go for another Miracle Steal here, but the split from CLG makes me think they're not going to go for that call. They're trying to get any advantage on the other side of the map instead. It's very dangerous for them to go towards that Baron area with no vision. Dyrus has already died to Link already.
Those cleavers have not been hitting for him today. It looks like he's just trying to get his team over here. Wild Growth goes down. They're using a lot now just to get away from Dyrus. They thought they had to kill. Ragnarok is on, and that was a huge spear coming in. You can hear Dexter saying, let's keep it going. Let's keep going for the kills.
The split from TSM, really well done right there. It was just a two-man Baron. That's all that they needed. Yen is still alive, by the way. He's sandwiched in enemy territory.
Just over the wall, looking good.
So they make call, go right for the mid lane here, TSM. Inside the base, it's going to be hard for them to get anything done. So, yeah, they realize this and they're just got to escape.
Baron with quite a bit of time left here for Team Solomid. Like Dyrus. They're going to go for the top lane now, finally. Nothing to pressure in mid. Only for CLG to clean up these minions. More kills, but definitely going to come in for Team Solomid before they finish this one out. 23 already on the list for it. They've been making it happen. I mean, 2 more turrets go down, and CLG can't really react. They have to watch until they get to the base.
It's that late game Mundo that's almost impossible to take down. He has teleport, and they also have a Fed Nidalee, who's amazing late game. As we said in the beginning, there's so many options for TSM late game. They have way more possibilities than CLG.
Pushing through the turret. Kobe, there's just not enough that can stop this poke composition that TSM has brought to the table. All the spears, as it did for Coast, is allowing them into the base.
They're
Dexter
forcing this
trying
so
to make
hard.
the plays once again. He goes in very hard. He gets Wild Growth and the Whimsy, and he is completely out. More defensive ultimates used so CLG can stay alive.
The hook lands.
Aphromoo right in the middle of the fight. It's going to be Xpecial taking the turret, but it looks like it's going to be all over for Chronologic Gaming. One too many Barons in the favor of Team Solomid. They are going to keep the win streak going for 11 on that, and it looks like they're going to be taking down the Nexus turrets. 42 minutes into the game, Team Solomid gets the crowd behind them and comes up with another win.
You have to hand it to TSM. Much, much cleaner mid and late game than CLG. They really deserve this win.
Doing what they can on the fountain. 42 minutes in, TSM smiles on their face with another victory.
That was definitely one of the more calm CLG-TSM matchups. And I have to say, TSM, they just felt like they were in control the whole time. never getting flustered.
I mean, that's kind of the champions you're going to get, right? We see Mundo, we say that's a calm lane. You got Nidalee, that's a calm lane. And that's the way they had to play it. You start going in, you're going to start losing your Nidalee. You're going to start losing your Doublelift. You guys, you need them on the backside, and that's exactly how TSM played it.
Yeah, very well done. And that bumps up their win streak one more. They're looking to take down that Cloud9 title at 13.
Dyrus with the thumbs down because he died.
Yeah.
He is not happy with that death. Waves to the crowd to see WildTurtle had a fantastic game for himself. She got his Caitlyn stolen away, but still.